What is going on, guys? My name is Arrow, and today I'm bringing you a list of the top 10 things that GGG might nerf in 3.18. Alright, let's get a few obvious ones out of the way before we start the list. Crystallized Omniscience and Ashes of the Stars. Both of these items are incredibly powerful for how common they are. I don't know that they'll be numerically nerfed, but I think they both should be made more rare. There isn't much reason to make a build that doesn't include one of these next. Before we get to the top 10 list, I'd ask that if you like my content and want to help me out, just take a second to like this video and subscribe to my channel. You guys taking those few seconds to support me really means the world. Thank you so much. Alright, number 10, starter builds. What I mean by starter builds are things that are really easy to get going at the beginning of the league, and I think there are a couple that are going to get hit. Skeleton Mages, number 1, has been a very powerful starter for a long time. I think GGG is going to look to shake up the meta a little bit. Number 2, Explosive Arrow is way too strong for almost no investment, and it feels like a nerf's probably coming to that as well. Number 9, Eater of Worlds Altars. These are incredibly powerful, and the problem is the Searing Exarch altars feel pretty good to use, but when you compare them to the power of the Eater side, it's just not even close. It's far too easy to get an absolute ton of them, and then they're spitting out scarabs and spitting out currency, and it renders the Searing Exarch side obsolete. I think they're going to tune down the blue side and leave the red side as is. Number 8, Lightning Strike. This one feels like another meta shakeup. Lightning Strike has been very strong for a very long time, and it is one of the dominant skills of this league as well. I could see it getting the classic GGG multi-pronged ban hammer, and no one will use it for 7 leagues. Number 7, Lightning Warp. Palstron put out a great build guide this league for a boss rusher that used Lightning Warp as a damage and movement skill. And GGG tends to not like these types of interactions. They got Lightning Warp down to 0 duration, and it becomes damage and move at the same time. They just tend to not like that. I would guess that it gets a base duration, similar to the way Leap Slam has a base attack time, on top of how it uses your attack speed to scale it. Number 6, Essence Farming. I love essences, but I think the availability of them is probably higher than GGG wants them to be, for almost no investment at all. I think the tree is going to get a little bit of a nerf, and essences will probably be harder to come by in 3.18. Number 5, Determination. Armor is incredibly powerful right now, and it's far too easy to get a lot of. Determination is being used by 70% of builds on PoE Ninja as of the time of this recording. 70%! I think the Determination gem itself is going to take a hit, and maybe some other armor nerfs are coming. And speaking of, number 4, Aegis Aurora and Divine Shield. Sort of in the same vein, these two are incredible defensive layers that stack with armor. Divine Shield, at the time of this recording, was the most popular notable ore keystone on PoE Ninja. GGG likes to shift metas, and this meta seems very likely to get shifted. If I had to guess, I'd say Divine Shield gets a numerical nerf. Number 3, Map Drops. Map Sustain was absurdly easy this league. You wildly oversustained without taking a single map node on the tree, despite there being tons of map nodes on the tree. The most popular maps sold for 2 to 3C in bulk, which is the lowest it's been in a long time. I would guess that map drop rates get dropped by 20 to 30% so that the Atlas nodes are a viable way to generate currency in the endgame. Number 2, Cast when damage taken loop builds. GGG wanted a self-cast league, so they buffed the base damage of spells and nerfed all the interactions that cast spells for you, except for cast when damage taken. Some of the most absurd builds I've seen this league are AFK builds that can do the Feared and Wave 30 Simulacrum. Chris wants you to close your eyes when you Exalt Slam, not when you're killing the endgame bosses. And number 1, the top thing that I think is going to get nerfed in 3.18, Nightblade. Nightblade allows for absurd scaling, and when used properly, it's the single strongest support gem in the game. It's trivial to get over 900 critical strike multiplier on a build that focuses on scaling Nightblade. I imagine that Nightblade's going to get a pretty substantial numerical hit going into 3.18. Alright guys, that's it for my list of the top 10 things that I think will get nerfed in 3.18. What do you think is going to get the hammer? Did I miss anything? Did I include something that maybe doesn't belong? Let me know down in the comments below. Don't forget to like this video, and if you enjoyed it, maybe subscribe. As always, thanks for watching, and take care.